Okay, so chicken livers peri-peri. Basically what we've got is 1 kilogram of chicken livers. This is 500 grams. So I've got 2 of these. They come frozen, so these are nicely defrosted. So now we're going to prepare our marinade. Cool, so for the preparation of the marinade, you're going to need olive oil, red wine vinegar, crushed chilies, cumin powder, coriander powder, freshly ground pepper, salt, bay leaves, garlic and lemon. You're going to need a nice little mixing bowl, the ordinary little mixing bowl. You're going to need a tablespoon, a proper tablespoon, of course a good knife, a good cutting knife. Yeah, cut a few slices of lemon because it's easier to squeeze the lemon when it's been sliced. A couple of cloves of garlic cleaned, you're going to chop those up. Firstly, you're going to take 6 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, olive oil's in, now you're going to do the same. 6 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. The red wine vinegar is in with the olive oil. Now we're going to do 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Okay, so the lemon juice is in. Now we're going to chop the garlic into tiny little chunks. Okay, so my garlic is cut. Some people won't use that much, but for me I can never put enough garlic in my food. So it's about 4 cloves. So you pop that in. Okay, so the garlic is in. Now we're going to turn to the cumin. We're going to have 2 teaspoons of the fresh cumin and 2 teaspoons of the coriander. Okay, so the cumin and the coriander is in. You'll notice as I finish with ingredients, I tend to put them away because that way when you're done, then it's all nicely safely back in the cupboard. Here's the kick. This is chili. It is chicken livers peri-peri we're making after all, so we're putting a handsome 4 teaspoons of crushed chilies in. The chili's in, you'll notice that's quite a lot of chili lying on top here. Now I'm just going to salt it to taste. I take a handsome sort of, half a teaspoon of salt, I would imagine, and crush lots of freshly ground pepper into there. At this stage I like to whisk it all up. I've put in some black pepper now and my salt, and that's it for now. That's almost the end of the first phase, so I'm going to whisk this up nicely, and then there's one more step which will bring to end the first phase of this process. So now you've got your chicken livers. Important, you see there's blood there. Don't throw the blood away. Don't pour the blood off because it becomes part of the sauce. Okay, that's the marinade. That's got to go in there. All right. So what we're going to do is get something nice to stir with, and then first pour half this little bowl in there, just on top, and then we kind of fold that in. It's going to be good. All right. So that's the first half. You see, we don't want to end up just with dry chicken livers. You want a nice brown sauce. Pour the rest in there. Scrape the rest out of that bowl, and then just fold it in again as with the first half. Okay, so your nice marinade is now poured into the livers and stirred in nicely. One last thing before we put it in the fridge. A couple of bay leaves. I'd say about 4. Stick them in sort of more or less where you'll know where to find them, because I take them out again before I put in the pan. We don't want you to chew on them. It's just for flavor, so I normally stick them kind of on the sides just to help with the flavor, general flavor of the dish. Okay, then I'm going to put this plastic back over. Normally what I like to do is to push down the plastic onto the actual livers. Now push it down, so lift it and then push down so that it seals it and there's no air. No air gets in. Okay, so it's more or less got all the air out, and then that goes back in the fridge for about 2 hours, and then we'll start the second phase where we cook them. Alright, if you can find a place in the fridge, pop them in there. Sleep well, stay there for about 2.5 hours. Okay, well, it's about 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later. So now we get down to the real fun stuff, okay? So the ingredients first. Have a look at this. our old friend, olive oil. You're going to need that. You're going to need some Worcester sauce. We need about half a cup of chicken stock prepared in boiling water. I've used the cube one here, and I've already prepared about half a cup of chicken stock there. You're also going to need some butter. There, I've got some butter, fresh butter there. You can use margarine as well. Tomato paste you're going to need, and then lastly 2 sort of medium onions. So I've got 1 large onion and 1 small onion. So right, we start off with chopping the onions up. So I'll show you guys once it's chopped. Okay, as you can see, the onions are chopped. I'm now going to take my olive oil, 1 tablespoon, large skillet, pour 2 tablespoons in there. We then go fetch our butter. So that's 2 tablespoons of olive oil into the skillet, 2 tablespoons of the butter. And that's just going to heat away there. And as soon as that's warm, we will pop our chopped onion in there. So these onions are going to go into the heated skillet over there. Our onions go in. You get the idea. So 2 chopped onions going into the skillet with the olive oil and the butter. Give that a little shake, stir it up a bit. See, if you push it down like that, then you'll get your little cubes of onion, so they kind of stick together when you chop them. So, okay, so that's going to go on there for about 7 minutes. But you know, you don't have to watch the clock religiously. You'll see when they start getting a little bit brown and sort of caramelly. Okay, so that goes in there. Alright, so meantime, we'll let the onion kind of broil away there. Meantime, we're going to go fetch our chicken livers. It's been in the fridge now for quite a while. We'll take them out, pop them there, and we're going to take them out of this bowl, take the chicken livers themselves out, pop them into another bowl there, and then reserve the marinade in here. Okay, so thankfully I've now got a camera assistant. Smash up here on the livers. Remember the bay leaves I told you about? We're going to take the bay leaves out now. Just put them somewhere. Bay leaves out. Okay, so now we're going to take the livers out, pop them in another bowl and try and reserve as much of the marinade into this bowl as possible. So, just kind of put the livers out and leave the marinade behind. Sort of shake it off a little bit, I suppose. Alright, so now we've got our marinade there. Give our onions a bit of a stir. Yeah, they're coming on nicely now. Oh, smells delicious. Onions always smell good in the pan, don't they? Yep. Just a little bit more onion there. Alright, our onions, as you can see, are nice and brown now. Okay, so we take the chicken livers. Increase the heat a little bit, we pour the livers in there. Oh yes. Go my good babies, go in there and get all brown, warm, creamy and delicious. So you can hear them sizzling away there.
Smells good.
Get that peppery sort of smell coming through. And the chilies. So you notice I pushed the onion out to the side and I made a space for the livers in the middle just so that they can get to the bottom of the pan straight away. They're not lying on top of the onion, so we can get a little bit of cooking going on here. They're boiling away nicely. A little stir. Now it's important to not cook them too much that they get all dry. They've got to stay a little bit juicy. I don't suppose you want to eat raw livers, but you can have them that they're nice and succulent and still cook through. But like fish, there's always the risk of drying them out from overcooking. Alright. Okay, so now, a tablespoon tomato paste. Chicken livers, nicely cooked. There, looks delicious. very steamy. I know it's a mist cloud and it's difficult to see through, but that is really good. I'll tell you the smell in this house right now. Okay, 1, 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste. Roughly one of these little sachets full. That's 50 grams. Alright. Pop that in. We're going to get the chicken stock. Remember the chicken stock we prepared earlier? We pop that in. Okay. Worcester sauce. So about 2 tablespoons Worcester sauce. Okay. 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce. Okay, and then I also like to put a little bit of chutney in. As you can see, I'm running a bit short on chutney, but you don't need much. It's just to add a little bit of sweetness to the taste. You can also use, I suppose, a bit of smooth apricot jam, just to add a bit of sweetness. Right, so we're going to stir all of that in, get that going, back on the heat. Friends, the marinade that we separated from the livers after we took it out of the fridge. Now you pour that back in. Try and get all of that lovely contents. Remember, there's a lot of the chili and the flavor stuff will be stuck to the bowl, so try and get as much of it in as possible. Lovely. And then there's one more secret ingredient to this rich brown sauce. Oh, that's what you dip your bread in afterwards. I'll take it off the heat a little bit. Okay. Lovely, lovely stuff. Nicely. You've got to stir it nice and through so that the flavor gets to all of the bits of liver that's in there. Okay, the last secret ingredient, some people use brandy, I use whiskey, just sort of a touch. Pop that in there, that's just so that the angels will bless it. So really it adds to the flavor. And then stir that in and then turn the heat right down, because now it's just going to sort of sit there and simmer for a while. You can put the lid on and just leave it to rest a bit for all the ingredients to bond and become one beautiful dish of Cape Town style chicken livers, peri-peri.
I like that.
Bye, enjoy.